Good morning, YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Please drop me a comment, hit the like button, and of course do subscribe as well. Don't forget to hit the bell icon if you want to get notified when we drop the new videos. We drop our videos every Friday, well in time for you to check them out over the weekend. And of course, if you ever have any questions at all, pop them in the comments, and as I've done in the previous weeks, I will answer them here in the future. Good morning, YouTube. How is everybody doing? I hope you're all doing well. I am overly enthusiastic this morning in an attempt to fake it to make it. If I'm being honest, I've been very tired this week. I've been very lethargic and, generally speaking, a bit grumpy. I know why that is. I've lost a lot of weight very quickly the last few weeks, and it's just adding up a little bit, to be honest. And this always happens. It's nothing to be worried about. And like I say to my team, you know, we have to set up expectations for these things, and dieting is one of those times where expectations are really important to have. So, hey, that's what we got to do. So I'm being overly enthusiastic this morning in an attempt to G me up a little bit for the leg session I have on the way. Now, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so the reason I came on here was because I've got a bit of a day in the life coming at you today. It's a little bit different to my normal day because, to be quite honest, my normal day is fairly boring in terms of what I do. If I were to record an actual day in the life, it would be the back of my head of me working from 9 till whenever I finish, with a few walks in between, which to me is an amazing job. I love my job, but it's just not that interesting to watch. So anyway, it's a bit different today. I'm going to see my accountant, so we've got a meeting at the accountant's at 11. I've got a call to Australia at 10 with a client of mine who we've been working with for quite some time now. She's coming to the back end of a gaining phase, about to go into her first mini cut, which is really exciting. She's done really well, so well. I'm incredibly proud of the work that she's put in, and she's definitely overcome some challenges along the way, which I think most people struggle with when it comes to gaining weight with the scales and with things like that, but she really has done a fantastic job, so well done to her. Yeah, so we've got that at 10. I've got the accountants at 11:15. So with the accountants, we have a really great relationship. I love my accountant. He's a fantastic guy, and we've worked together for, I think, 4 or 5 years now. Maybe even longer than that, actually, now I've said that. But essentially, you know, they're a fantastic asset to have. So if you're a business owner and you're maybe a coach listening to this, I do recommend getting an accountant. They're fantastic, and our accountant's brilliant. You know, we meet up every so often, probably every 6 months or so, have a coffee, sit down, chat through things that are going on, you know, quarterly reviews, things like that. And it's just a really good way to keep on top of business and to make sure that, you know, we are moving in the right direction. And it's just generally a really nice time to have a chat, catch up, and do those kinds of things. So anyway, plan for today is this. It is now 6:49. So 6:49 AM, I'm heading off to the gym. We've got a big leg session to get in, so I'll take you through that. Then I am heading back. I've got some messages. I'll obviously grab my pre-workout, my post-workout, and food, get that down. I've got some client messages to go through. I've got the call at 10. I've got the accountants at 11. Then I'm into my first block, which is actually an editing block. I've been making my YouTube video for the week, so I've recorded all of that and that's ready to go. And from there, I've got another call this afternoon and pretty much a straightforward day, so very much looking forward to it. But for now, uncharacteristically, it's caffeine in the morning before a workout, which I haven't done other than week 5 for some time. I'm in the back end of week 3 now, so it's a little bit early for the caffeine, but I do need it, and I don't need it. I just know it will be of benefit to me today, going into a very heavy leg session, and knowing how I felt off the back of the last one. Hopefully it will just carry me through the session and what's to come after that in a way that I can, you know, have a great call with my client, and of course be able to go to the accountants with some kind of brain cell, because I'm going to need it. Anyway, that's all from me. I'm going to head off to the gym now. I'll speak to you guys when we get there, and other than that, have a lovely start to your day. Right, so we've just got to the gym and the car park is empty. There's like 7 cars here, so this is good, because yesterday when I came, it was absolutely heaving. We like a quiet gym, this is good. And also, because of a lot of the stuff I need is usually machines that are taken up, hamstring curl, leg extension, leg press, those kinds of things, it makes it even more enjoyable when it's quiet. So let's get stuck in. Time for a session walkthrough. So the first thing I do when I get into the gym is I will always go through 5 minutes on the treadmill. I will also then, depending on what I'm doing, so today is a leg day and I have a heavy compound first up, I will always warm up sufficiently for that. So I'll do some leg swings, some foam rolling, do some stretches, and I'll focus on any areas that are particularly tight, but I don't do anything that is overly excessive when it comes to warming up and stretching. The prime aim of a warm-up is to get you warm and ready to perform. Hey, that rhymed. If we're doing that, but we're going over the top, we're just taking out energy from our session and it's making the whole process so much longer. Then I'll go through my bodyweight squats, my warm-up, onto the barbell. So the aim is to then just climb up the weights like a pyramid. So the pyramid, starting at the bottom with less weight, more reps, and then we do less reps, more weight as we go. We start with the barbell, then we might go straight to 60 kilos, then straight to 100 kilos, and so on and so forth. But every time I increase that weight, I am lowering the reps. So when I do my last warm-up set, I'm doing 1 rep. Of course, the sets I'm actually doing usually are between 7 and 10, but I don't need to warm up that much. That's ridiculous. You're just going to waste your energy. In today's session, this went really, really well. I got a PR from last week, so I got the same amount of reps as I did last week, but I got 5 extra kilos, which is fantastic. That's really good progression, especially this period in a diet. Squats are something for me which I used to be able to do a lot of weight for, so I think part of that is just muscle memory picking back up. So do 3 sets of 7 to 10 for the back squat, and then we're moving into Bulgarian split squats, everybody's favorite. I keep my weightlifting shoes on because what I want to do is get more knee flexion. If you're trying to get your glutes, you want a flat shoe, but I'm trying to get more knee flex. What I'm going to do is keep my heeled shoes on. As you can see, that grey heel helps just elevate the ankle a little bit, which means I get better dorsiflexion. Dorsiflexion is just where the knee passes over the toes some more, get more knee flexion, more quad work. The reason I do that is because I don't get a huge amount of knee flexion in my squat. I get a lot of glute. What I'm trying to do is get more quad with the split squat. Again, big PR, so 4 extra kilos in that dumbbell than I had last week for 1 less rep, but I went way outside the rep range last week, so that's why I took such a drastic jump. Then I'm on to my kickbacks. I use a box to perform my kickbacks because it stops me kicking the floor and I can get full range of motion. See, I swing my foot out and around. Normally what would happen is you'd end up kicking the floor, which is annoying, but you get a much better angle of pull on the cable. If you see at the peak moment of my glute contraction at the very top, what I'm getting there is that angle of 45 degrees between the pulley and my foot, which is going to be really, really good for contraction. But equally, that cable stays fairly consistent the whole way. Whereas if I were to have my foot on the floor, the cable's got to go flat and then up, so I'm not getting peak contraction throughout. So yeah, fantastic, very much got a gnarly glute pump there. They're improving really quickly because they're new into this block. I started with cast hip thrusts, but after all the knee flexion exercises, my knee just couldn't hack it. It was really sore. I was just getting loads of pain in my right knee, and essentially the tightness in my quad was just debilitating for me to do them. So I was getting more pain and more aggravation than I was getting glute activation, so I switched him to kickbacks. Next, we're on to calf press. I put this in solely so people think I train my calves, because I actually do, and I train them very hard. They just don't grow. So this is just a token video of calf training, to be honest. I also did some cable crunches. This is a video that I took a while ago. I was cut for time at this point as I had my meetings, so I didn't record them, but I did the calf press here superset with the cable crunches to finish off, as well as 1 set, just 1 lonely set of hamstring curls, because that's all the volume I needed in that session to be able to get the volume for the week that I needed, and that 1 set generated a huge pump and a lot of disruption, so it did its job perfectly. I don't even know if you can see me right now. I'm like in the shadow, but I can't go any further forward because I get blinded by the sun. So I'm just going to stay here and hope that you can see me. Just finished with my meeting at the accountants, which was fantastic. Always super helpful. We'll sit down and talk all things business, see how things are going, any updates in the world of tax, things like that, where essentially we'll look at any changes I need to make within the business and essentially just talk through any ways in which, you know, I can be doing things more efficiently. And it's such a beneficial use of time, it really is. And it's also a really good use of money. Arguably, other than solicitors, the best money I spent is in my business by far, because these guys know what they're talking about. You know, they're absolutely fantastic. They're professionals. And Dave, who's my accountant, is just such a great bloke. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed catching up with him and seeing how he's doing. Now we're heading back. So I had my call with Anya from Australia before I had to get to this meeting, which I was nearly late for, which was a tight one because we just started chatting and we just got carried away and lost track of time. But anyway, so I'm heading home now. I have 2 client blocks to do, so I've got to just basically edit their blocks. So when I go through client blocks, we get client feedback. So at the end of a block, I'll ask our clients, hey, what went really well, what didn't go so well, and is there anything you'd like to add in? Because essentially, with any training program, we want to keep things as similar as possible. Sometimes there are exercises you just don't get along with. Sometimes there are exercises which you just maybe are just niggling your elbows or your knees and they're not really hitting the muscles like they were before. So we like to trade them out before they get too much of a problem. We like to make sure that we're keeping things fresh, but also our clients are really enjoying their training. I've got some feedback on those. I'm going to get them done this afternoon. Other than that, I've got some editing to do for this lovely video. I've got one more thing to do actually. I'll have to check my calendar. I should have checked that before I started this. But yeah, I've got one more thing to do. I hope it's not important because I can't remember what it is right now. Anyway, I'll catch you lovely lot back at my house. I'm going to drive back there now and I will see you soon. Hello, 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 and welcome to my week 7 check-in. So this is covering the first 7 weeks, obviously, of this fat loss phase. Last week, if you didn't tune in, which I suggest you go back and do so. Last week we discussed that it was actually my deload week. So that was basically a down week of training where I looked to recover and so on and so forth. But if you want to know more about that, go check it out. As it was last week, I've had a really good consistent couple of weeks. Everything was at home all the time, no traveling, things like that, which I know I had in the first few weeks really consistently. So work is normal, gym is normal, and I've eaten all my meals at home. The only difference from this week is that I've been working a lot longer hours. So I've been working very much from kind of 9 in the morning when I get back from the gym. I finish about 6:37. I spend a couple of hours with my partner. We'll go for a walk, we'll have dinner together and do those kinds of things. Then I come back to work. I've been working till kind of 1 in the morning. So I've had a kind of a week of like 5-6 hour sleeps, which I would normally never recommend, and I'm only saying this because I want to be transparent with you guys, but I would normally never recommend this, okay? You always get your 7 to 10 hours. However, I have been struggling to sleep more recently, and interestingly, I've got a project on at the moment which I'm really excited about for our team, and the two have come together really well to the point where actually I've been getting 6 hours of really good sleep or 5 hours of really good sleep versus going to bed at my normal time and just kind of lying there feeling a bit hungry and a bit tired and a bit annoyed. So actually at the moment, I would say it's a happy middle ground, but we'll see how that goes. And of course, we have to be able to adjust should it happen. And I'm looking to have a bit of downtime maybe today and probably over the weekend as well. So weekly update, weight is shooting down at the moment. So I lost just over 2 pounds, 2.01 pounds. So total loss now down to 9.82 pounds. So things are moving on quite significantly. It's worth mentioning that the video I filmed at the start of this week was actually in the end of week 8. I was feeling quite hungry in week 7, not half as much and kind of lethargic as I am this week, but I wanted to get a live capture of that to show you guys because I think it is an accurate representation of the process, and I'm looking to try and catch up really more of my day to day so you guys can see the ins and outs of how I'm feeling and so on and so forth, just to be transparent. So as you can see on the scale then, the weight is, you know, we had a little bit of a dip here where it just kind of flattened out and then boom, we're back on that channel again. So if you look at that, obviously that blue line. Now the black line I put in because I wanted to see where I would be. So I took the average of every single weigh-in I've done and I looked at it on a weekly basis, and it basically said this is how much you're losing per week. So I put that into the sheet, and that's the line it gave me. So essentially this reckons I'll be weighing about 160 pounds by week 14. So that's very interesting. Obviously, we've still got this block to go yet, and it'll be it'll be interesting to see if that does come to fruition. I'm not in a race, as I've said many times. I am very much looking to the sustainability and the longevity of this process more than just trying to race through and really crush the process quickly. Macros, again, all very normal. As you'll see, my calories actually dipped this week. And the reason for that is that I had a couple of days where I worked a little bit later, and actually I was a lot less hungry when it came to dinner because I'd almost gone past that point. And so what I actually did was I just said, look, I don't actually need to have all of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to eat the food that I have pre-planned to eat. And then what I'm going to do is, if I am still actually physically hungry, I will eat the remaining food. And if not, I'm not going to. Absolutely fine. This is more of a trial. It's not something I necessarily recommend yet, but it's a trial I'm running, and it's gone very well so far in terms of listening to those hunger cues and not just racing to the fridge because I've got an extra 7 calories to have, half a jelly baby with. This is all about stress relief, keeping the process under wraps from a obsessive perspective and just trying to integrate it well into my life without worrying about calories, every time I'm eating and things like that. It's just a case of, actually, do I need this? No. Am I feeling satiated? Yes. Do I have a massive session tomorrow? No. If I did, which I had on Monday, so on Sunday I actually did go to the barracks. I knew I had a big leg session on Monday morning and I wanted all the fuel I could get for that. Steps and sessions very standard, so I've actually put my step goal now to 11 to 12k. Recently it was more like 10 to 11, but it has gone up now to 11 to 12, so I'm basically knocking on the door of that 12k. And the only other thing that's changed in terms of my output is that I'm not playing touch rugby at the moment. I just feel very, very fatigued, and the truth is that after it really wipes me out. I put in a lot of effort, it's a lot of sprinting, it's a lot of running, and at the moment this is my priority, so there's every likelihood I'll pick it back up again, but I don't want to risk getting injured, and quite frankly I'm at that point where I'm really getting into the depths of this diet and I really want to see it through to the maximal of my capabilities. Feedback then. So actually for week 7, sleep was good. The quality of the sleep was good, the amount of sleep was not so good, but I'm rating quality here. Energy, yeah, feeling good. Post deload, back in the swing of things, absolutely fine. Hunger obviously picked back up quite quickly. Stress in a good way, so a lot of good stress is coming our way, but equally it is stress nonetheless. And then fatigue, still dropping post deload, but still there as well. Tracking was great, digestion was great, mood, me. Obviously when I do my week 8 and 9 check-ins, that will be decreasing quite significantly when I update you fully on that, and training's been fantastic as well. So compared to this, mood dropped off a little bit just purely because obviously the calories dropped a bit and sleep was a bit more affected and so on and so forth. So that is it for today's check-in, and if you've got any questions on that, of course, do let me know. Right, you lovely lot, that's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Please drop me a comment, hit the like button, and of course do subscribe as well. Don't forget to hit the bell icon if you want to get notified when we drop the new videos. We drop our videos every Friday, well in time for you to check them out over the weekend. And of course, if you ever have any questions at all, pop them in the comments, and as I've done in the previous weeks, I will answer them here in the future. Thank you so much for watching, take good care, bye bye for now.